The past is the past. The past literally has zero relevance to every single day forward.
Are you a big fan of Halloween yourself and your kids?
I am a huge fan of Halloween because no gift giving. No, thank you. Don't want to do it. And I have the fondest memories of Halloween because my mom, when we were kids, she had this book called Jane Asher's Book of Costumes, I think. And it was the most elaborate costumes you could imagine. And my mom is an incredibly, talented artist. And so she would make us these elaborate, we'd crush the costume contest every year, my brother and I. So I have so many fun Halloween memories. And I hate myself a tiny bit every Halloween that I walk my kids into Spirit Halloween and let them pick a costume. But thank goodness for Spirit Halloween. It's saving my life over here. So when I heard that they were making a movie and it was Spirit Halloween is kind of its own holiday. Like when you start seeing the stores pop up, you're like, oh my gosh, I think it's Halloween time. So when I heard that they were making a movie and I happened to tell my kids that I was, reading the script for it, they were like, well, you have to be in a good movie. That has to happen for you sometime soon, right? You got to do this. And I was like, you guys.
I love it.
It's all rude. And it's so cliche. I feel like every actor around my age, let's just leave it at that, does these interviews saying, I made this one for my kids. I've just heard that so many times. But I am that person now who's like, yeah, this one's for the kids.
So sweet. Well, you touched on it about your mom, but do you have any other family traditions surrounding Halloween? Do you do themed costumes at all with your kids, or are they no, embarrassing?
They think that my costume ideas are terrible. They never want to be anything I suggest. I think that's just sort of a rite of passage when you're a kid. My daughter wants to be something this year that involves a lot of fake weapons that are not going to fly at her school, I think maybe, or even around the neighborhood. And she's a very mild-mannered child, so I'm super confused. I was like, we could make them out of cardboard. Wouldn't that be fun? And she's like, absolutely not. So I don't know what's going on there, but we're going to figure it out. It's going to be great.
Well, in the film, I did like the dynamic between you and your son, and he struggles with the dynamic of the family with you remarrying. And then, spoiler alert, how it ends at the end where he brings his sister trick-or-treating was very sweet. I mean, could you relate to that at all? Co-parenting in your own life?
Completely. My ex-husband and I are happily divorced and co-parenting, and we still share Halloweens. We go out walking around together. And my kids like my boyfriend a lot, and we're slowly just navigating what that looks like. And it's tough. It's tough, and it's certainly relatable to so many families out there. So I hope that this is a nice touch point for kids who have a new step sibling to, I don't know, maybe take a little bit of a cue from that.
What have you taken away from co-parenting that maybe you would pass on to someone else who's going through it?
The past is the past. The past literally has zero relevance to every single day forward. That's the thing. We did a little bit of therapy to navigate our separation, actually. And that's the number one thing that's different from couples therapy when you're going through separation and divorce therapy is you don't get to bring up anything that didn't happen incredibly recently unless it's relevant to the days in the future. That's the best piece of advice I got and would give.
And just lastly, you touched on it, but do you plan on having a Spirit Halloween movie gathering with your kids? And have they seen maybe Josie and the Pussycats or any other movies that you've done, or was She's All That recent?
I took my daughter, who I thought was just old enough, to the He's All That premiere,
okay.
which was a lot of fun. But other than that, they haven't seen that many things that I've done, if any. I think they like me in the role of mom. I think that they are the toughest audience out there because they're like, no, that's just you. So with somebody else calling you a different name. So yes and no. I don't know what to tell you, Mom. Sorry.
Well, I know they're still young, but have they, can you kind of see that maybe they want to go into acting themselves at all? How would you feel about that?
My daughter does not have interest in it of late or yet, I wouldn't say. She told me one time that she went to school and that she was bored because they keep making her read, quote, all these stories about things that didn't even happen. So I think that she's not...
She's not yet.
So I don't know if like playing make-believe is for her, which is amazing. And my son, I think, is a little bit, my little sweetie, I think he's a little introverted for that for now. He's very like one-on-one, very like social and fun. But yeah, if you sort of said like, go out there and get his hands a little bit, I'm not sure how he'd feel about it.